Alright, so the two teams that are playing today are America's Finest Dota Players and Wards and Base. America's Finest Dota Players is playing as the Radiant, while Wards and Base are playing as the Dire. On America's Finest, we have Bidman, Tan, Ferox, Bit-a-Bee, and Vincey Boy. While on Wards and Base, we have Avalon, Frankie Crisp, Noided, B-Donk, and Praise Be to Jesus. I wonder if it's actually going to be his screen name, but it doesn't matter. Everyone is very nearly loaded in, and we're very nearly ready to get started. Alright, Wards and Base have first pick available to them. The Invoker ban doesn't really surprise anyone, and most of these first phase bans are probably going to be very standard and very predictable. Although some teams that have first pick won't ban the Invoker. They'll see if they can force the other team to ban it or get to pick it up themselves.
5 seconds. Reserve time.
Heroes that are still available that could probably be banned are Earth Spirit, sometimes very valued, sometimes a really high priority for some of these teams, although less others, and Doom still occasionally sees play, although not as much as he once did. It's probably more of a personal preference kind of ban. And then Dragon Knight and Wisp, very interesting, although the Wisp in the right hands with the right combos can be played very, very well and can change the pace of the game. So it's possible that Finest did their homework and maybe saw that someone on Wards and Base really, really liked to play that hero. And Wards are going to go with a very defensive and very versatile first pick in the form of Dazzle. This hero also fits pretty well in these early to mid game push lineups that have grown very, very popular. Weave plus Shadow Wave means your team has a lot of sustain, is very hard to fight into, and can push for extended periods of time. Very good hero in extended fights. Also, once again, one of the most popular heroes in the Amateur Dota 2 League. Gyrocopter, Oracle, Chen, all heroes still available for Finest, and I'm interested to see what they're going to go for. Oracle fills some of the same roles as a Dazzle, although it's probably a much more aggressive version of the hero, and you don't get your Grave type ability until level 6. Although in some respects it is much stronger than Shallow Grave, and the Root has more reliable control than Dazzle, and certainly much more kill potential early game. Gyrocopter still available and a very, very popular pickup. Finest definitely thinking really hard about this, digging quite a bit into the reserve time, maybe trying to figure out which of these heroes they really, really value more than the rest, or maybe don't want to give up to WIB. They're going to grab their Shaker, which is another very popular hero in the Ad2l, and this hero has very, very high impact too. It's especially good if you want to try to put the pressure on the enemy mid lane early. It can play very defensively, it can play very aggressively, it's very strong in team fights, and there's not really any phase of the game where Shaker gets to be bad. Fissure is a strong spell throughout the entire duration of the game, and there's always the potential for huge Echo Slam plays. This also will help a lot with slowing down the push if Wards and Base do want to try to get into the end, if they really want to get aggressive in 5-man early. And once again, Finest digging pretty deeply into their reserve time. Sorry, that is my Steam going off. But, so don't check your own. And they have a lot to consider. There's still quite a bit left for them that they could pick up or think about. I mean, there's still Earth Spirit, but they go with the Witch Doctor, who actually, these 3 heroes are all in the top 4 most popular heroes of the Ad2l. And this could be an offlane Shaker. We'll have to see, especially since it was picked so early. It's kind of hard to tell. And yes, there's the Earth Spirit. This hero also very strong, and gonna have to wait to see if it's gonna be it's probably a support. A lot of people are playing it in the 4 role right now. At least that seems to be the most favored place to put the hero. Although sometimes in pubs you'll see it mid, but this is a very different atmosphere from a typical pub game.
Reserve time.
So now, Woods and Base back to banning, and if I look at these 4 heroes, they're both pretty good support duos, although Finest definitely had more kill potential. And even a tiny bit more control. And Slaughter going to be banned out by wards, which, again, this hero is still fairly popular, and if you put amp damage on someone and they're getting hit by the death ward, they will die very, very quickly.
Dire team ban.
That's not the only reason to ban the hero, but that could be something they may have considered when they chose to ban out the hero, instead of maybe picking it for themselves. And Gyrocopter and Slark, the next 2 bans. And the Gyro, again, a very standard ban. It's just a good hero. It can get aggressive really early and doesn't need that much farm to come online. And the final ban being Juggernaut. Same story as Gyrocopter. Doesn't need that many items to come online. Has a really good ultimate, a good laning phase, and though he doesn't scale as well as, say, like an anti-mage, it still scales really well and is good at pretty much every stage of the game. So Finest right now have a lot of team fight and a lot of kill potential early with just these 2 heroes, and I wonder if they're going to keep going down this route, if they're going to keep going for these aggressive heroes, heroes that can get active on the map early, heroes that can rotate, heroes that can fight. Although Wards and Base do have a pretty good defensive lineup, lots of control coming from the Earth Spirit, and the heal plus the Grave on Dazzle might make it difficult for Finest to find the kills in lane that they might be looking for. And Finest, that is a... This is kind of hard to tell now which of the Shaker or the Abaddon is going to be the offlane. But the Ember Spirit, I actually really like that here right now, because Witch Doctor does not have that much control. Shaker's probably going to need to dedicate his Echo Slam to catch the Ember if he tries to split push. And although there is a fair bit of physical damage so far on Finest with just the Witch Doctor, and now Quap with Sonic Wave can kill him through the Flame Guard, it's still going to be kind of difficult for Finest to control the hero, unless they get good cast bounces and the Shaker can chain his stuns really well. And it's going to be really hard if he gets a Manta Style, because then if Queen of Pain goes the Orchid route so that she can kill him, it will be even harder to kill him, because you can just Manta out of the stun, or the silence, and Manta out of the Witch Doctor stun a little bit too.
10 seconds remaining.
So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this Ember plays. A very mobile hero, although Queen of Pain, very similar. And if she gets her Orchid quick enough, if she chooses to go in Orchid, she can blow up this Ember very, very fast. Especially if he does not have Flame Guard on. So far, Finest looking very aggressive, and now, although the Abaddon is a little off, I do understand it. It can get into the middle of these fights, run into these fights, and start them without any fear. So, not to mention the shield is good for Quap. You can purge off the Earth Spirit stun, you can purge off his silence, you can purge off searing chains. And Wards and Base go for a Spirit Breaker. So, once again, kind of hard to tell which of their heroes is going to go in the off lane. I would guess the Spirit Breaker, and I would actually guess the Shaker will be the respective off lanes for these teams. But it's a very aggressive hero, and with the Ember, Spirit Breaker, and Dazzle, they might be able to find a few kills on the less mobile heroes like the Witch Doctor or the Shaker. And the last 2 bans, Spectre and Zeus. Spectre has seen a lot of play, not in the pro scene, but has explosive popularity now in the pub scene. And the hero, if the game goes late enough, and with Finest draft, it could go pretty late. She could be really difficult to deal with. And they actually pick up Clinks, and I think that hero is decent against... It's decent at killing Ember. I don't know how good it is at catching Ember. Not to mention, they've got a lot of... With the weave, his Searing Arrows is not going to be that strong. And actually, yes, the Abba offlane does make a lot of sense. It's going to be interesting to see what he builds. I guess it depends on what they want to prioritize. If they want to get a Shaker, a fast blink, or get this Abaddon level so he could just walk around unopposed. Wards and base have the last pick, and the Zeus ban, I'm actually wondering if that was to protect... Nah, probably wasn't to protect the Clinks or anything, but the hero, pretty good. Also adds a lot of kill potential to the side lanes once he hits 6. Not to mention he'll win the vision war for his team if he just runs around the map, zapping cliffs, and taking away that ward advantage could be really scary. Makes it harder for your Ember to push, makes it harder for you to find pickoffs, and can even take away your own jungle. So wards and base, not quite sure what they need. Again, sometimes the Earth Spirit goes mid, but I seriously doubt it. Ember might mid, but he could do okay against Queen of Pain if he got levels. Because at the start, he's just going to get daggered down, and Flame Guard absorbs next to no damage at level 1.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so it's going to be Ember Spirit mid. Finest, I guess the Quap is okay at dealing with illusions, but that PL is going to be really hard for a hero like Clinks to handle. Then again, there's the Shaker. But still, it's kind of... I think the PL is an okay pick. Yeah, it matches up pretty well against heroes like Clinks, and even though they have the Shaker, that's the one... Well, and the Quapult, I suppose, but there's not a lot for him to have to worry about, and same story with the Ember Spirit. There's not that much control on Finest if they don't chain their stuns really nicely. If there's no follow-up to the Shaker Fissure, if there's no follow-up to the Cask, they're lacking a lot, and it's going to be interesting to see if they'll even be able to lock down this Ember long enough to kill him, or lock down this PL long enough to kill him. So that could be something that Finest struggle with, and now that the game is underway, I'm going to introduce these players. On the side of wards, there's Noided playing Earth Spirit, and it looks like he's going off lane. Frankie Crisp playing the support Spirit Breaker. Franz is on the Phantom Lancer. Bdonk playing Ember Spirit, and Gorgs playing the Dazzle. And on the side of Finest, we have Reborn playing the Witch Doctor. Vincey Boy on the Queen of Pain, KJ playing Abaddon, Bidman playing Clinks, Tans playing the Earthshaker. So it looks like both teams heading towards top rune, and a smoke on the way for the Shaker.
30 seconds to battle.
If the level 1 fight were to break out, it could be hard for wards to deal with it. There's a lot of burst, and the Cask, and your PL and your Ember don't have their mobility yet, so they are just as vulnerable as anyone else in the laning phase. And they have, let's see, if they probably would start setting chains if they wanted to fight this. Finest making their move. Fissure block out, Cask flies, and Ember Spirit might be in trouble, although just does get healed up, and probably just going to be a loss of a bounty rune for wards, and the other bounty rune went to Clinks. So Finest picking up both of the bounty runes this game, and Ember Spirit already very low, does not have a salve. Lane is just going to be that much harder for him. Although Queen of Pain did not get the bounty rune, so he should not be that behind in levels. Bounty rune actually went to the Clinks and Abaddon. And yes, this is going to be the offlane Abaddon. Where are they going to place their ward? So Abaddon's probably going to try to block. Witch Doctor has sentries available in case the Earth Spirit tries to block. Yeah, this mid is going to be pretty tough for Bdonk. I mean, he's already really low. Queen of Pain is largely healthy, has all of her regen still available, and he has a Fairy Fire and a Shared Tango. So he's going to be forced to use a lot of his regen very, very soon, and might even just continue to get pressured by the Shaker or the Witch Doctor. So it looks like it could be pretty rough for this mid Ember Spirit. They might just want to camp one of their supports here until, like, maybe the Dazzle. Definitely not going to be a very fun mid lane for him. He took a beating at that rune, and have to see how it turns out. A lot of it could come down to how the supports play, how they rotate. Alright, so right now, Bidman all on his lonesome, but did get the bot rune, so will be level 2 very soon, has Skeleton Walk, and we could see, though, although we could see this Spirit Breaker get really aggressive early, and I mean, that's really the point of picking a Spirit Breaker, is to get aggressive early, but Abaddon, probably the kind of hero you need to deal with it. Witch Doctor getting dewarded, eating up their wards. He eats the sentry, or eats the obs and his sentry dies, so he's going to heal up a little bit, and yeah, this looks like Bidonk in trouble. Fairy Fire to maybe save, yep, Fairy Fire saves him from that last right click, and now Fancy Boy is low. I used to think Fairy Fire was the worst item, but so many people have just barely survived thanks to it. And yeah, Dazzle's gonna hang out, try to heal up his mid, and Fancy Boy tanking a tower shot very low. Might be in a bit of trouble. The heal is there from the Dazzle in just a few seconds. Ember actually starting Sleight of Fist, very interesting. The heal bomb plus the Dazzle there, and the tower shots will be first blood, but Witch Doctor dies, and Earthshaker dies, so I don't think, yeah, that was not worth it, and wards are going to be very happy about that. They may have lost their Ember, but they get 2 kills of their own, and now Vincy Boy does have Blink available, and unfortunately, no Searing Chains for this Ember Spirit, and things are... Klopp is going to be able to walk away, but probably does have to go back to base. Dazzle did salve himself up, is almost level 3 already. Very fast levels for this Dazzle, just for being around for those 2 kills. Oh wait, did Queen of Pain actually die? Oh, she denied herself to a neutral creep. Probably to get back to base faster. So that makes sense. Fortunately, not able to destroy the Dagger Harass there, and gonna look at these other lanes now, but Dazzle will park himself happily in the mid lane, taking care of his Ember Spirit, it seems. KJ doing just fine in the off lane, not gonna be that worried. Frankie Chris did stack and pull the lane, so might lose a little bit of XP, but I don't think they have that much kill potential on this Abba. Started to bring up protection, and he has his shield, so it's going to be very difficult to bring him down. Shaker has rotated bot lane, and they're doing their tri lane, although the Earth Spirit is level 3, so he can probably roll away if there's any trouble. Like Frankie Crisp now in the mid lane. Could they get the Queen of Pain? They don't yet have a point in Searing Chains, so I'm not sure they can find a kill on him. Without a heal bomb, but that would require Queen of Pain to be very poorly positioned. Earth Spirit actually doing pretty well in his lane, getting some decent levels, and although not finding that much farm, he really doesn't care that much. He really just wants the levels. Abaddon, similar story, just finding the levels that he needs. And neither of these off-laners in terrible danger. Although Frankie Chris charging in, and now they're going in bot on this Witch Doctor, but can they get him, or was this a mistake? Clinks does a lot of damage, and they might claim the Witch Doctor, but he's just barely able to walk away, and the Enchant Totem plus the Aftershock, and that's 2 kills for Finest, and 1 on the Clinks, 1 on the Witch Doctor, so looking very bad for him all of a sudden. Clinks very happy with how that turned out, and now Witch Doctor TPing back to base to heal, but this off lane just got that much harder for Earth Spirit. Charge going in on KJ, probably just to get back to lane faster. He did go for the Tranquil Boots, so definitely intends to stay in this lane for a very long time. And is almost level 5, but Fran's also doing very, very well. Shields up, and Franz does not seem that interested in chasing. Although maybe they are going to get him. And actually, Vincy Boy goes down in the mid lane. I'm sorry I missed that, but
Radiant's middle tower
Reborn
is
now
under
sitting in
attack.
mid, and actually KJ does die in the end, with Frankie Chris TPing out and Franz barely alive, but unfortunately no TP of his own. Might be in trouble. Going to try to walk away from this, and looks like he's just barely going to be able to get away. So 2 big kills found for wards. The Queen of Pain dying is especially important. She's very far behind in CS against this Ember Spirit.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Clinks has his Soul Ring ready, just needs to have it brought to him. Franz being chased, and the double shield pop. Abaddon does find the solo kill on the PL, so he does find that return kill, and that was a pretty good kill. And Vincey Boy dying once again in the mid lane. Ember Spirit now level 6, and Queen of Pain level 4. He is very far ahead of her now. Has his bottle completed, and Dazzle also level 4, so Queen of Pain extremely far behind. This mid lane is just falling apart for Finest. And I really don't think they can afford that. Their team is very, very... They don't outscale wards, I don't think. Clinks does do very well late game, but Abaddon, I think it's Ags who doesn't fall off that much. But just the damage output of wards plus the utility of the Dazzle, it could be very difficult. And another go in on the mid lane. Looks like at least one of these heroes is going to go down. The heal bomb, and now Shaker did rotate in. Grave on Frankie Crisp. He might be able to find his way out, but Ember Spirit has no mana. Malediction is on Frankie. Will he survive? It is only a very low rank Malediction, so he does get back to full. And that's yet another kill for wards found. And this Dazzle doing so much work. Queen of Pain did hit level 5, although completely out of mana. Not going to be able to find that much, and very low. Charge coming in on her, but she's walking back to base, so shouldn't be in any real danger. KJ has hit level 6, but this Clink's farming very, very well. His itemization is going to be pretty important, though. And it looks like Noided is going to melt to the DPS of this Clinks. We've seen some Clinks, they'll go the Soul Ring into like a Solar Crest, they'll just rush a Desolator, and some of them will go for the Orchid, and I think Quap or Clinks should get an Orchid this game. It'll just make it so much easier to kill the Ember, so much easier to kill the Phantom Lancer, and just this Queen of Pain dying so quickly. Didn't even need the Searing Chains that time, but she blinked forward aggressively, and I think that was a huge mistake, but looks like Finest will find a return kill. Malediction should be enough to pop him, and Frankie Chris just going to charge back into them, but cast cooling down in 2 seconds. He might be in trouble, but should be able to find his way away, and yes, he does. So Finest finally finding a kill on this Ember Spirit. Good rotations from Reborn and Tans, so making sure that Wards and Branches stop finding a bunch of free kills that they have. And actually, it looks like Vidman might be in trouble, but his damage just so high and should go down to the Magnetize, but actually no, barely alive. Getting charged, has Skeleton Walk, but the damage from the charge should be more than enough to kill him, and he's very, very low. So they do find that return kill, and I would argue that that is worth it. Losing your offlane Earth Spirit for the enemy's Clinks, and yes, 700 gold going to them after the kill on the Clinks. So a very good kill for them to find. Are they going to be able to kill this PL? He does get fissured up, and the Witch Doctor ult committed and does find him. So very well positioned ward and very good fissure. Good rotations from Finest supports to try to recover from this early game, although Queen of Pain did die again in the mid lane. This Queen of Pain having a terrible game. She is very, very far behind. Has finally found level 6, but has basically non-existent item progression and a whopping 5 deaths. I mean, she's Queen of Pain's a hero that you want to get active on the map. You want to find her level 6 and just start killing people, especially squishy supports, but that's just not possible right now. I mean, she's so far behind, and actually a lower level than her team's Witch Doctor. So things not looking good for Finest's mid lane, and Ember Spirit finds a double damage rune, although perhaps he'll find another kill on Vinci Boy here with that. DD rune activated, Queen of Pain being charged, now chained up, and just chopped up very quickly. Heal bomb plus one right click from the Ember Spirit, and she dies. Bidman shows up though. Grave is there, weaved up. Is he going to be able to get away? It doesn't look like they have any detection. They do have a sentry, but he's going to be able to walk out of range of it. They do not find him in the end. But Reborn just walks right into 4 and just dies very quickly. Although he was behind enemy lines, I doubt he was going to get out of there in the first place. But now Bidman a little bit stuck, going to eat a creep and maybe try to find his way out. Although wards do not have any more of their detection, so he should be able to walk away. But he actually doesn't have Skeleton Walk card off quite yet and might die to the Magnetize, and he does indeed go down in the end. So they did lose their Clinks and the Witch Doctors, so a bit of an overextension again from them. And more really good play from Gorgs, who has just been pretty on it with his heal bombs, his graves. So far the supports of wards getting quite a bit done, especially the Spirit Breaker. It's like KJ has his Vladimir's offering pretty much completed, and Ember Spirit finishing his Boots of Travel, so going to be farming all over the map and probably going to be getting a Battle Fury very, very shortly.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And it looks like Vinci Boy dead once again. Another heal bomb and chains and just gone. This Queen of Pain having an absolutely miserable time. 30 CS at 11 minutes, almost 12 for this Queen of Pain. She is not in a good place right now. Air Spirit can roll away, but does get fissured up and may just go down to the Clink's damage. And that's the strength of Clink's early game, just hitting so very hard with his flaming arrows and just tearing that Earth Spirit apart, unable to get away as he was blocked by the fissure. I'm not sure how this looks for Finest though. I mean, PL also farming very, very well. Abaddon is able to TP to safety, but their Queen of Pain is just so far behind. And although Finest, their Abaddon is doing well, and their Clinks is doing well, with the Queen of Pain just basically a non-factor right now, it's going to be really hard for them to continue as the game goes, unless Clinks and Witch Doctor and the Shaker make lots of plays. So it's up to them to make space so this Queen of Pain can try to come back into the game. Because she only has 700 health right now, will die very, very quickly in these fights, and unfortunately just not going to be contributing very much, and is going to try to farm the jungle a little bit. She has maxed her Scream of Pain though, so a little bit more damage coming out from her, but not going to be enough to break through Ember's Flame Guard. If we look at the hero levels too, the supports on both teams pretty even. One being level 8, one being level 7 on each side, but the offlaner of Finest slightly higher level than that of Wards, so Clink's actually building a Midas, and I don't think that's a terrible choice. It's just pretty interesting. Gonna help him find some levels and reach that late game. Lots of pings coming out from Gorgs, but perhaps they think this spot's warded, or they want to smoke. Yeah, it looks like they want to smoke. He is holding on to one, and they're going to rotate top and try to find a team fight up here. Reborn positioned in a way that he might catch the smoke, but Finest going in very, very deep. Might not matter how well positioned they are. Which Dr. Cast comes out only bouncing on 2. Echo Slam, Scream of Pain, Sonic Wave, and the Heroes of Wards melting very, very, very quickly. Good Grave on the Ember Spirit, and he's doing a lot of damage in the Magnetize too, but a triple kill for Reborn from an extremely well-positioned Death Ward, although they are going to be able to clean up 1 or 2 heroes on the side of Finest. Wards lose 4, only losing, and in exchange only killing the Queen of Pain, who is already having a terrible game, and the Earthshaker. Both of those heroes got their ultimates off, did a lot of damage in the fight, and contributed all that they could, basically, and then Wards just get cleaned up. So that was a very good fight for Finest, and this Clink's just I don't even think Clinks was there. Yeah, Clinks was not there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So things looking a little shaky for wards. What looked like a good charge and a good smoke gank from them actually gets turned around from a very well positioned Witch Doctor. Reborn playing extremely well right there and probably winning the fight for his team with a good cask and a very, very good death board. Ember Spirit actually grabs a Blade of Alacrity, perhaps going to Yasha as his next item. While Bidman just farms up the jungle, sitting on top of 2k gold. Wonder if he's going to go for Orchid or the Deso or like a Solar Crest that some of these Clinks do like to go. I don't know if he can kill this PL just because of Doppelganger, but Tan's actually closing in on a Blink Dagger, and that could be the item that Finest really need to secure these fights. Smoke coming in on Gorgs once again. Maybe they want to try again with this smoke gank of theirs, but Reborn trying to TP out. Not going to be able to find it, although Magnetize was committed. The cooldown not terribly long, so probably not a terrible loss, and they shouldn't have to worry too much about KJ. He's pretty slow, but and Frankie Crisp can just charge away to safety if he really needs to. Charging back, actually, maybe. Alright, with Badonkadonk showing up, they might be able to find this kill. Abaddon's ult is ready, and he has a mechanism just going to TP out. TP cancelled by the chains, and now Dazzle's here too, so KJ might have gotten a little bit greedy and is going to go down after a very, very long time. A lot of healing, but a massive heal bomb to bring him down in the end. And actually, Bidman going for a Maelstrom as his first item. Really wants that attack speed, get out more attacks, and well, actually, Mjolnir would be a really good choice this game against the PL. Just kill the illusions without even really trying. Pop the Mjolnir active on yourself, on your Abaddon, on someone who's getting beat up. Kill the illusions, and the proc adds a little bit of DPS to the hero. Clink's getting charged up. Dust on the Spirit Breaker. PL in position to go in. Clinks might be in trouble. Aether Lens is the first item on this Earth Spirit. Very interesting. He's dusted up. No Space Cow ult though, so but Bidman definitely going to go down here in the end, unless he's getting killed up by the Voodoo Restoration, but not quite enough. And no, Witch Doctor might be next. He is going to go down, weaved up, and just melting, and a few right clicks from Ember Spirit. So good attempt from Finest, but they lose both the Witch Doctor and the Clink, so a very good trade for wards, especially since Ember Spirit was able to show up and grab one of those kills. Yeah, Ember Spirit win a Yasha, maybe going Manta, or maybe just getting the Yasha to increase his damage and increase his farm speed a little bit, then goes back for the Battle Fury.
Looks like Radiant closed the
Although perhaps he will forgo the Battle Fury and just try a different, more mid-gamey build, or more battle build. KJ slowed down a lot, stunned up, and now going to be chained up. And just waiting for his ult to end so they can chain him up. Fissure ready, but does throw it out to block them off, but is it going to be enough? He does get stunned one more time. Very good play from Noided, and Frankie Crisp shows up at the tail end of that, and our ward's going to back off or continue pushing. They may just want to back off, and Queen of Pain grabs a catch-up Midas for herself, so going to be able to find some of those levels that she so desperately needs, and maybe some items that she absolutely needs to get. Dazzle has a mechanism on the courier now. Going to be even harder to kill the heroes with wards, although Finest do have the kind of team that can kill them despite the mech. I mean, lots of burst damage, lots of sustained damage, lots of magical damage. But Ward's in a very good position right now, but the gold lead does not exist, although it has come down slightly in favor of Wards, probably like a couple hundred gold for them. And if you take a look at XP though, almost 3k in favor of Wards, and that might mean a little bit more this game, as all of these here, at least the Earth Spirit scales very well with levels, and Dazzle scales extremely well with levels. He has Max Grave now and is already level 11, so this is a very well leveled Dazzle. Witch Doctor and Earthshaker only level 9, so the supports of Finest slightly ahead, just because of that Dazzle. Shaker is only level 8. Donk going in, and KJ might be in trouble, although backup is on the way. Tans has his Blink Dagger. This could be what they're looking for. Echo Slam on cooldown though. Chained up, and now Franz blocked in. No, Doppelganger is able to get away in the end, but now Noided in the middle. Drops Magnetize, hitting 3 heroes. Frankie Chris jumps in, and Donk might have jumped a little ahead of himself, going in aggressively with his Remnant, and actually brought down very, very quickly. He buys back, and Noided finding 2 kills with Magnetize. But then Bidman in trouble, earned up, probably going to go down, and so far a very good trade for wards, although Ember did buyback, so maybe not. He lost a lot of gold for that, and now is going to be getting significantly less gold for a while. So thanks to the buyback, a huge, what would have been a pretty nice gold swing for wards ended up being almost completely negated. And now Tan's in trouble, graved up, his Noided is graved up, is still tanking tower, and gonna go down the very last possible second. Reborn is in trouble now. Finest has cast, or Reborn has cast, but not going to matter, and he is popped by the Ember Spirit. AJ running in to try to delay this. Earth Spirit, yeah, I agree, playing pretty well. Frankie Crisp just gonna flex his muscles at them, charge them under their tower, tell him he's not afraid, but then gonna very wise decision to walk away in the end. Despite how unafraid this Spirit Breaker is, he's going to make the smart decision and back off. If we look at item progression on these teams, looks like Bidman is closing in on his next item. Tans does have his Blink Dagger, and really that's all this Shaker needs. Vincey Boy has next to no items still. Franz has a Yasha and a Vlad's 2k gold, so don't know what he's going for. A good Echo Slam, but is it going to be enough to turn this fight? Tans going down very quickly. Franz also very, very low, gets killed off by that fissure. Now KJ shows up, his ultimate is ready, but mech just used. Vincey Boy getting very, very low. Charge cooling down, but Ward's going to back off, and unfortunately not a very good trade for them. Very good Echo Slam and very good fissure from the Shaker to ensure that his team wins that fight. Invisible Witch Doctor, although maybe just going to cancel that. BMTP cancel, but oh, he might pay for it with his life. No Flame Guard up though, so the damage of V-Donk not that high, although Noided shows up in the end and misses his kick, but are they going to be able to get it? Chained up, his team shows up, and is he going to get shielded? No, not quite in range. And Spirit Breaker getting ready to charge, although Wards might be in trouble. Noided getting very low very quickly. He's going to survive. Dazzle does manage to TP out in the end. Good Grave TP, and Ward's able to find the pickoff on that Witch Doctor and not lose any heroes in the process. An item on the way for the Ember Spirits. This is Manta Style. Yes, Manta Style on the way for Ember, and while I looked up there, V-Donk picks off the Queen of Pain, and this thing's going from bad to worse for her. She has found level 11, but still seriously under-leveled and seriously under-farmed with just a Midas and a point booster. KJ probably could be going SNY, might be going a Halberd as well. I think the SNY probably the smarter choice. Ember can, I don't know if you can Manta out of the disarm, but now Tan's in trouble. The casket does get dodged, but Clinks did very quickly, just doing massive damage, chunking away at Gourds, and he is going to go down, not able to grave himself, and now Badonk might be in trouble, taking a ton of damage. Maledicted up, and gonna have to get out of here before he gets picked off by this Clinks. Clinks hitting extremely hard, and Earth Spirit in the middle of the fight has Magnetize ready, doesn't want to use it. Clinks looking, and the Abaddon ult popped. Vincey Boy has showed up, no ultimate, and just getting melted so fast. Bidman still looking for something, maybe gonna make a jump, but gets spotted out by a ward, and now he's going in on this Ember, but is he gonna be able to find the kill? Witch Doctor arrives, throws out the cask, and Clinks chasing this Ember. Ember no mana to Remnant back, nor any Remnants to Remnant 2. Although it looks like both teams just gonna back off, and the trade did slightly favor Finest, a couple hundred gold and about 400 experience more than what Ward's got, so decent trade for them. They didn't lose their Clinks, who now has a Yasha, probably gonna go Manta. Could be I guess it could be a S and Y, but I really doubt it. Earth Spirit playing very well. I mean, 1-5 and 11 has set up a lot of kills for his team. Aether Lens on Earth Spirit. Now that's something. Lots of range on this guy's abilities. Already a very long range hero, now even further range. I mean, Rolling Boulder will go so far now. So if you take a quick look at the net worth, Klink's about 800 gold ahead of the Ember Spirit, but after that, it's Ember and then PL, then the Abba and Earth Spirit. Queen of Pain behind the enemy Dazzle, really not doing that well. Bidman gets dusted up, but is it going to be enough? There's not really any backup for Frankie Crisp. Badonk is on his way, but not going to be able to find anything. And perhaps Spirit Breaker just got a little bit overexcited and does go down for it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
A good little boost of gold for the heroes on Finest and some XP too. So Klink's.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yes, he did actually go S and Y, so a more stats-oriented build gives him a little bit more beef too. Not to mention, I guess the maim is pretty good. Makes him easier to chase down enemy heroes. And both the wards here dying, and now Klink's going to be a little bit harder to kill. Dazzle probably going Yules. Ember going Lincolns. Queen of Pain doing a ton of damage. The charge comes in. Magnetize just tearing through these heroes, doing tons of damage. And now Ember sitting in the middle, but a huge Echo Slam catching these two heroes. But Francis showed up. Will they have enough damage to follow up? Frankie Chris getting very low, but graved up. We've already used, and his team is very tanky. Vincey Boy finding 2 kills, coming back in this game a little bit. KJ now caught out, no ultimate available, probably going to go down. Bidman waiting in the wings, perhaps he's going to try to jump this Dazzle, and yes he does. He wants to pop this Dazzle, but Dazzle graves himself just in time, and now it might be Klink's who's in trouble, although no detection. It looks like Gorgs is going to go down. Klink's sitting right in front of him, but KJ might pay the price as well. And now this Ember Spirit, godlike, but Klink's also doing very, very well. So Queen of Pain did a very significant amount of damage in that fight. A very well placed Sonic Wave, and found 2 kills for herself. The trade was 3 for 3, very slightly favoring once again Finest, but a much more favorable trade in XP. But neither team lost their core heroes. They didn't lose the Ember or PL. Neither Ember or PL died, and neither Queen or Klink's died. So both of the cores getting out of that pretty good. I mean, they all found the kills they wanted, and none of them died, so going to be interesting to see how the game progresses. Queen of Pain going for an Ags, probably the correct choice. Her blink is ready, so hopefully she does survive, although Ern is there. He earns himself on accident. Oh, how unfortunate, unable to find the damage, but I think she would have just barely survived anyway. But this Perseverance, he could be going back for a Battle Fury, could be going to Lincoln's. Maybe Lotus? No, not Lotus, so it's probably Lincoln's or Battle Fury. I would guess Battle Fury. There's only a couple spells to even block with the Lincolns. Neither Klink's or Queen is going in Orchid, although Klink's certainly has the gold to go one if he wants. There's a ward there. Klink's did see it get placed though, so he should be fine, although Badonk might be in trouble. Just gonna throw out a slight, try to harass back the creep wave. Has a remnant back to jump to, and to use his Manta to push out a little bit. Fran sitting on top of 2k gold, no items yet. It was actually, looks like he is going to go back for the Diffusal Blade, probably the right choice, and we'll give him a bit more damage, a bit more survivability, some armor up against his Klink's. So Witch Doctor getting close to his Ags, only about 700 gold, or 750 gold away. Blink Dagger now on the Earth Spirit. I believe he's had that for a little while though. And I wouldn't be surprised if we went Ags. I mean, the utility of the Ags on the Earth Spirit is huge. And speaking of Ags, Queen finally picks hers up after 30 minutes. Very painful game for Vincey Boy. He's died so many times, but is finally clawing his way back up on the net worth chart, getting into the 4th position, but still very far behind. And actually, Klink's and Earth Spirit blowing up the the Earth Clinks and Earth Shaker blowing up the Earth Spirit. But the Earth Spirit does go down in the end, and now a Mjolnir picked up for Clinks, so PL going to have a very hard time building an illusion army against him. These teams might start looking for Roshan, and would give either team that took it a fairly good advantage in the next fight. Both teams, though, have all of their Tier 2 towers, and Finest actually continue to hold control of their Tier 1 mid. Donk has a Remnant safely in the back, and is in Battle Fury now complete. Queen of Pain just going to farm with her ult now that she can, and Ember does just jump back to safety. Do they have the damage to get Roche, though? And it might be bad. They might get scouted by Clinks. They do have that ward, but she's tearing up the Dazzle. Clinks now getting charged. Might be in trouble. The team is there to back up. Dust ready. Ult popped, and now Clinks on the run. Chained up. Might not be able to run away from this. Gets bashed and then beat down slowly. So now Roche might be very safe for, will be very safe for wards to take. The Earth Spirit ult on cooldown for another minute. Queen of Pain's ult is ready, but probably not something they're too worried about. They have Dazzle there, Weave cooling down in just 10 seconds. With Earth Spirit's Magnetize also ready, I think wards would win a fight in the pit. Battle Fury delivered for this Ember Spirit. He's doing very well this game. Finally, just barely beating out Clinks in net worth, but we'll see for how much longer.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Witch Doctor Ag's now completed, so that's going to be a huge team fight item for Finest. And Ember now has the Aegis, who's already very hard to kill before. 18 and 4. 3 heroes, 4 heroes smoked up. They're looking for something mid. Ember just
I think Raiden just should back off.
Earth Spirit just whiffed Magnetize. They should.
Yep.
They probably don't want this fight, but it looks like they're going to take it anyway. And with how Finest are positioned, they might take it. I mean, Witch Doctor died without getting his ult, but just barely able to survive thanks to the Abaddon shield, but actually ends up being cleaved up. And they lose the Spirit Breaker, take down the Witch Doctor. Abaddon's ult is popped, and Abaddon does go down too. Earth Spirit rolling away to safety. And
This could be going better if the Shaker didn't use the ult here to gank the ES.
Yeah, if he had had that, they could have contested the Roshan.
Yeah.
And he does get a massive Echo Slam off in mid, but he's all alone, no follow-up damage, and
No
valiant
follow-up.
effort, but without anyone there, not really worth it. Ember just gonna go heal up and jump back into the push.
It's not worth to just throw your ult like that.
I mean, if
No.
Queen of Pain
Next
had
team
come
fight they
on-
can just go in.
Yeah, now they don't have it for 110 seconds, so they can just... Wards can just go up high ground. They don't have... I mean, the Death Ward's still there, but... It could easily get cancelled by the Earth Sphere with such long-range control.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Witch Doctor gets chained up, but they're probably not going to go kill him. Stunned up by the Earth Spirit, and Ember might kind of going on him. It's not looking good for Finest. Although now Abaddon keeping it in the middle of the fight. Clinks is there. But they're all weaved up. The heroes on wards becoming very, very tanky. Phantom Lancer has the Boots of Travel on the way. It's kind of late, it feels like, but he's farming very well. At least better than, say, this Queen of Pain, who is still very far behind, although has caught up pretty nicely. Ember still has the Aegis, Spirit Breaker going on the Witch Doctor, and now Magnetize drops. Witch Doctor dies once again without getting his ultimate off. But things looking kind of awkward. KJ's ult down, does die. Queen of Pain... Oh, actually, the Spirit Breaker just barely able to TP to safety. Queen of Pain might be in trouble now, but Shaker's there with the Fissure ready to save her. And looking pretty grim now for Finest, who keep losing fight after fight. And although they killed the Dazzle, they lose Witch Doctor again and Abaddon once again. And this Abaddon just doesn't feel very impactful right now. He doesn't have that, like, his item progression isn't spectacular. He has a Cloak and a Sange.
Radiant's middle barracks.
At this point of the game, it's very difficult for Radiant, the Finest team, to come back, I guess. Because they have Ember Spirit
Yeah, now Clinks
with
is getting a
Aegis.
solo kill. Yeah, Ember with the Aegis, I think wards just have no real reason to be afraid. I mean, this Queen of Pain does no damage. Well, she's almost at level 16, so that'll help, but still, the Ember Spirit and the PL, both very tanky. Both getting Manta Style is one of their first items. Aegis still ready, and Ember doesn't even care that he just got ulted. Although Shaker did try something, but not going to find it in the end.
I don't really think the Manta cells are really the items for them.
I feel like they could have gone much. I could see it if there was like an Orchid on the Radiant.
Yeah, nobody of them went for an item that Manta could dispel.
Yeah. So right now it's just kind of like, I guess it's not a really super snowbally item. I guess it's decent on the PL though to build an illusion army, but the Ember could have gone crit instead. I think that would have been a bit more beneficial. And I'm actually surprised he went the Manta when he did, instead of going, because he went the Manta before he even got Battle Fury.
Yeah.
He still has Aegis for about another few seconds at least. Dazzles their heal bomb. Queen of Pain in trouble, but is able to get saved up by her teammates. So now it might be the Abaddon is in trouble. He has no ult, but a pretty big Queen of Pain ult, and now this Witch Doctor ult going to work, tearing apart these heroes.
What a ult.
Yeah, this Witch Doctor is definitely probably the player for Finest right now. I think he's the most important hero, but now he has no ult. Although Ember has no Aegis and no Remnant to jump back to, so he's probably going to die to the Malediction. Just blows him up. It's 1k gold. Yeah, that was not a worthwhile Echo Slam. Ember bought back, and I don't understand why he keeps doing this. This is very greedy, and he's probably just going to die again. Yeah, he's going to die very quickly.
Oh. It's way too greedy, buyback. Oh.
No one else was there. They had already...
Finest can take advantage now and take towers, take tier 2s.
They can easily grab a tier 2. At least, yeah, 2 of the tier 2s. He's dead for 80 seconds, and now Dazzle's dead for a minute.
Wow.
That was a pretty big misplay from the Ember Spirit. Got just so greedy. He did that earlier too, and ended up not finding anything with his
Also,
buyback.
I don't like the build of this Abaddon. I feel like they needed.
Weird.
I think they needed like him to go like semi carry, face with his Y. And Vlad's maybe more damage for the Clinks.
And, yeah, he could go like. I think Vlad's would have been pretty good. I don't think anyone else has it. AC, if he could afford it. SNY, but he just changed his build so much, it feels like. Now he's going the Ghost Scepter. I don't think he even really needs it.
Yeah, because he just gets countered by that official in PL.
It's not going to do anything for him, and it's not like he can go E-Blade efficiently. He has very low...
They're gonna get Drax. So
Spearbreaker bought back, but Clanks popped his BKB. PL trying to do some work and just tearing up that Earth Spirit, but the range track's very
now it's worth. They should just back off.
Yeah, I think Finest did the right choice. Just abandon your Abaddon, let him die, and just leave. Get that Rax, be happy with that Rax. You evened out the Rax now. Actually, you have melee Rax. They've only taken whereas
And look at the gold swing actually.
Yeah, they just threw away their gold advantage. 10,000 gold thrown away
10,000
by Wards.
gold.
That's ridiculous. I mean, and it's all from that buyback too. I mean, not all, but him buying back when he did, and then Spirit Breaker buying back and dying, and then just losing hero after hero. Now the game
There's no buyback on Ember for 4.5 minutes.
He just should just buy his next item then, like get a crit item. Just he needs damage. And he did go crit, but the Earth Spirit does get the Ags, and Clinks has Deso though, so this Ember is going to take a lot of damage. Thankfully they have the Dazzle, but I don't think it's going to matter that much. Clinks now 4k ahead of Ember in net worth. And Queen of Pain
I don't
slowly
think
catching up.
Desolator was an item here. I would really like a crit on Clinks.
Yeah, Chrysalis would have been good.
It's still 40 minutes into the game, so...
If he got Desolator as like his first item...
Yeah, but
it's so
it's
late.
more of an early game item for Clinks.
Yeah. And they don't even have problems killing towers either.
No.
So they don't need that Deso. I mean, he's going to hit very, very hard with it, but still, he could hit very, very hard with a crit, too.
Yeah, and even harder. I like the Mjolnir though,
Yeah.
for the PL options.
The Mjolnir was very good.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically just nullifies a huge part of the PL is just useless now.
And I think that they have so much Mantis, it will just cause a bigger echo. So,
Force the TP, but that was kind of weird, kind of useless, but...
Wards needs to be very careful right now. If not, they can totally lose. They have to wait till they have buybacks and SB and Ember. If not, a bad fight and they can lose a game.
I don't think they can afford to let the next Roche go either. If the next Roche goes way of Finest, it's going to be really hard for wards, and they don't have any detection for this Clinks, but they have to know he's right there. Looks like they did find him.
They spotted the Clinks. They're trying to get down to the Clinks right now.
Good Echo Slam. Huge Echo Slam.
That's not gonna work. That's an Echo.
Really good Magnetized though. So we might be able to find some return kills if Earth Spirit does die. And Ember, wow, this fight is all over the place, but this Earth Spirit, the Earth Spirit and the
Earth Spirit can clean the house right now.
Yeah, Ember should just clean up these two remaining heroes. There's a TP ready on the Witch Doctor, he's bleeding. He should be able to get this, yeah. So triple kill for the Ember, close fight, and it was just 4 for 4, but probably worth it for wards because their Ember didn't die. They got they keep the gem. They're just gonna leave. I imagine they have the courier flying back to it now. But really well played from most of the heroes in it. I mean, the Earth Spirit just huge, magnetized, tons of damage, and the Echo Slam was massive too. Although it looked like the Death Ward was canceled pretty quickly or placed in a not optimal spot. It didn't seem like it hit that. I think I only saw it hitting the Earth Spirit. It didn't seem like it did that much. Ember Spirit does have a Daedalus now. No buyback for another 1 minute and should be able to, we'll be able to farm out. He's fine then.
Roche is up. They should go Roche. Wards should go Roche right now.
They need to keep the Roche away from
Clinks.
wards. Yeah, if Clinks gets the Aegis, it's gonna be so hard for them to win a team fight. A Lotus Orb on the Dazzle, that also feels a little weird. I don't think they're going to get that much value out of it. They can reflect Dagger and Miscoil and Cask, and that's it. That's the Queen of Pain did just pick up a Scythe though, so that's going to be pretty good. You can reflect the Scythe. So that's something from the Lotus, which is pretty good. Put it on your Ember, then you hex up the Queen, although Ember's still going to be hexed.
I feel like Wards needs a Crimson Guard for
the Witch Doctor ult.
The Witch Doctor ult and the Clinks.
Yeah, the Crimson Guard is just
It does block a lot of damage.
Both teams looks like they're going to smoke up.
Smoke.
Both teams are probably looking for Roshan too. However,
they're trying to pick off here.
Finest
trying to go for Roche.
Echo Slam.
Both are going to Roche.
Both teams.
It's gonna be a huge fight here.
It's hard to fight Finest in the pit. They have to know this is going on, but Reborn positioned very, very well so that they can see. He pops the smoke and then can see them coming in. Roche is dying so fast. They need to get it up away from the Clinks, but Clinks does get the Aegis in the end, and now it's looking really bad.
The Hex and Ember. Oh way.
PL died so fast. Ember did get the kill, and they might be able to take away the Aegis, but it'll be hard for them to find this fight, just salvage it. Echo Slam's still ready, and Clinks. Wow, that was a lot of damage popping the Abaddon. Just a little bit more damage, and Abaddon would have died without his ult even triggering.
Yeah.
So probably favorable for Finest there. They did get the Aegis. Clink still has the Aegis, more importantly. It's not like he got it and died. So the next fight's going to be very, very hard for wards.
Yeah.
And especially now that Abaddon just picked up his Ags too, which will soak up a lot of damage for his teammates. Yeah, 50% of the damage going to be redirected to the Abaddon when he ults. So Ember Spirit Cleave doing very little, Magnetize doing very little.
It feels like Spirit Breaker's not having too much impact in the game.
He died almost immediately, like right after that fight started, the PL and the Spirit Breaker died. I'm amazed wards are even able to fight, do as well in that fight
It's
as
pretty
they were.
poor, actually. Because
Yeah, the Spirit Breaker is the lowest net worth by 4k. The Spirit Breaker having a very rough game. Just a Blade Mail, which Clinks doesn't care about because he has the BKB.
I'm sure Ember needs a Lincoln Sphere.
I think that's going to be his next item. I mean, if he could either get greedy and get like another Battle Fury, which would be useless, I think.
Or Daedalus.
Yeah, or another Daedalus. They're not nearly ahead enough, and they're not in such a desperate place that they should even think about a Rapier. Oh, Ember might be in trouble. He gets hexed up, and now he's just going to die so fast. He has Remnant up, but he does have buyback, but down for 90 seconds, and if they force out that buyback, they can just bail. Like, they make him buyback and then leave, and then push back in later.
Finest should take all the tier 2s before going for the next fight. You have to take advantage. Ember's dead and take tier 2 so they can push all the way.
Earth Spirit's going Avail of Discord, it looks like. I don't know about that. I mean, it helps himself, but I don't feel like the Veil is that, that great. It gives him a little bit of survivability. Clink still has Aegis for a while, and this tower is not going to last very long. Kicks him back, but is that the play? Yeah, it looks like he's just going to start chunking.
It's not the play.
Maybe should have just kicked him out of the base instead. Try to slow down the push as best they can. Ember Spirit wants to go in, but he does not have buyback, so he needs to be really careful. Dazzle Graves himself, weave on a lot of heroes. Sonic Wave connects on quite a few too. Clink's getting low, still has the Aegis. The Witch Doctor Ward drops, doing a lot of damage, but not quite enough. Franz now might need to be careful. The Clink's doing tons of damage to him.
Clink's still has Aegis.
Yeah, they haven't even taken the Aegis
It's
down.
hitting the barracks. Cool.
Abaddon's ult is down, so they're gonna claim him, and now Clink's mostly alone.
That's a dead Clinks.
Yeah, so that was well played, good positioning from the Ember Spirit. He stayed on the edge of that fight the whole time. Didn't ever get really low.
They lost the racks, but I think if they can trade here right now, someone should travel here and push the tower and force a buyback. Maybe Ember. Ember should.
Yeah, I agree. Because he puts a Remnant back, like right where he is now even. TP's there. Forces, if he forces the Clinks and Queen of Pain buyback,
He can pretty much solo these guys. This guy has no gleamers. He just melts them with one hit. Let's see.
Like,
He's
are gonna be
Remnant here.
They do have fortification, so they might try to not buy back. Although they're going to be forced to. Either they lose racks or they buy back. And this Spirit Breaker getting so greedy again, and that's just a problem Wards have had the whole game. They just get so greedy.
Where's the gem?
Yeah, losing that gem is going to hurt Finest.
No.
They did force the Queen of Pain buyback, but not the Clinks buyback. So that's also going to hurt them. This Spirit Breaker, I think, needs to be a little more patient.
Needs to be more careful.
Yeah, he's very aggressive. And I mean, I understand that the point of the hero is to get in their face, but at this point, that charge especially just felt like, when he went right here, it just felt like it was feed.
Yeah,
really aggressive, really greedy charge. I don't think there was any way his team is going to be able to follow that up.
I mean, if they took the racks, it was worth it, man.
They
They
didn't.
didn't take nothing.
And now it's going to heal. And actually, I really like the Blink Dagger on the Witch Doctor. It'll let him get really well positioned for a Death Ward. Wow, this Witch Doctor is farmed. He's a BKB.
Yeah. I would like the Aether Lens in Witch Doctor.
Yeah, I think that should be his next item. Cast the ward from just so far away.
Just blink into the trees and place your ward. Or something. If he gets to position a really cool ward, it's just game winning with that echo.
His ult is... They have a lot of good ways to deal with this PL. The Witch Doctor with the Axe, Clink's actually getting...
Even this guy goes for a scythe. It's pretty cool item.
I think that was good. I think that was probably better than getting like a Monkey King bar or something.
Yeah.
MKB would have been...
Because they're lacking a bit of lockdown for Ember and PL's not a big of a deal right now. But if this goes very late, they can still win.
Oh yeah.
They can definitely win. Like they have the hero.
And yeah, now Ember's gonna just die without buyback. That's 2 minutes of Ember just dead, and Spirit Breaker just also dead for a minute. So and the Echo Slam I think misses, but it doesn't matter. Ember.
There's no buyback on Ember for 3 minutes, and he has no gold, so they can.
This is GG.
Thinks he can push all the towers.
TL doesn't do enough damage, and the Witch Doctor is too good against him, and the Clinks has Mjolnir. And now they're gonna lose their Dazzle. He does get pulled back, but so Dazzle does manage to survive. Although this is gonna be Megas. I mean, in theory, wards have the heroes to deal with it. They have PL is decent, and they have the Ember who's pretty good.
That's Mega Crips.
Yeah, but it's just looking so bad for wards. I mean, they had a massive gold lead that they just threw away. The Ember got way too greedy.
Ember went so greedy and threw the game. That's all I can say.
I think that was
They were winning the game so decently. It was just game winning.
Ember didn't need to buy back. It wasn't one of those situations where like he buys back remnants in and like gets 3 kills. It was, my team is all dead, and he buys back anyways, and then goes down without not even putting a remnant back at base. I mean, yeah, I mean your PL just got a double, and I think Earth Spirit got a double, but is it gonna matter? Oh no, Spirit Breaker got.
They're just gonna go for all mid push.
I mean, they have to, but buybacks on all heroes ready for finest.
And they don't really have the hero right now. They need Ember to push the Megas.
And it's not going to be like, look at this. This creep wave's already coming in. Shaker now is a scythe of his own, so 3 scythes on the side of finest. PL and Ember not going to be able to do anything. Locked down forever.
Yeah.
They're coming in.
Let's see if they can do something here.
Just buyback available on every hero of finest makes this very hard. And Queen actually going a Necro Book, which probably unnecessary, but Scotty on the PL, but it's not going to matter. There's no way. If these T3s were down and Clinks didn't have buyback, maybe they could get Megas of their own. But yeah, that Echo Slam was massive. Just tons of damage, and PL just going to die. And now Ember going to go down not long after.
Ember has no buyback.
But there's just so many scythes. Okay,
If he dies, it's over.
so Ember was able to jump back to base.
He went for Scotty.
Yeah, PL doesn't do that much damage. I mean, okay, so it is 232 damage, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. Or it's not even that, it just feels like it's too late. It just, the PL just, again, he just doesn't feel like a factor in the game, really. Maybe if Ward's 5-man wipe Finest, and Finest used all their buybacks, maybe, but they'd just lose their base to Megas. Queen of Pain gets a little ahead of herself, silenced up, but the shield's a purge, so she will be fine. Or maybe not, she does go down. No buyback, she's dead for a long time, but Clinks is there. Clinks might also be in trouble. Nope, Fran's sheeped up, and PL is not going to live for very long, but does Doppelganger away, may be able to find some return. Witch Doctor canceled immediately by the charge.
Cancelled immediately by charge.
Clinks in trouble. So Clinks does have buyback though, but the Mega Creeps do just tearing apart the base. So they win this fight, yeah. But can they even do anything? They don't have any lanes pushed out. It just feels like an exercise in like futility at this point. They're really just delaying the inevitable, I think. I mean, it's maybe possible, but look, the Ancient just dying so fast to Megas. Spirit Breaker and Dazzle and Earth Spirit not going to be able to defend the base, and PL and Ember would be the ones to push. Kicking Abaddon into the middle of the base, so he's probably going to die, but... Yeah, Abaddon's going to die, but it's not going to matter. Ghost Sceptered himself up, but still does not matter. Just dies.
Team Wards are trying, but I think the game is over. There's nothing they can do. There's no way they can push all Megas and keep this alive.
Especially since they don't even have racks in 2 of these lanes. PL got a Maelstrom of his own. That's probably not going to make... I mean, it's for the Megas, of course, but... Is it really going to matter? It's not going to make a real difference. Ember trying so hard to push out these lanes. Yeah, if he finally has buyback, Queen of Pain going Necro 3. She just wants to kill these towers. Just take their base, push in. And really, Finest don't have to do anything.
No, they don't.
They can just
They don't even have to buy one.
Really huge
Speak
echo spam. That was a
echo.
really good echo. But looks like Ember going to be able to get away. Good stun, Magnetize drops, and Veil pops too, but Magnetize doing a lot of damage, but not enough, and yeah, the
win.
are going to be the end of the game, so...
They cannot defend.
I mean, the Ember was the only hero equipped to defend, I think, but he had to be the one to push too, because he was the only one that could push out.
Yeah.
So it was just... I mean, they were...
I don't think the PL was a very impactful hero here.
PL and Spirit Breaker felt like they lost a lot of their impact as the game went on. I mean...
Yeah.
Gyro was banned, but Gyro would have maybe grabbed the Gyro in the first phase, but it doesn't, I mean, that might not even change the outcome of the game. I mean, it's impossible to tell, so it just felt like Wards was just too greedy in the end. I mean, the Ember buying back just to jump in and die, that was really, it felt inappropriate even.
Yeah. That was a throw for Ember.
Yeah, they definitely... I mean, Wards were so far ahead. A 10k gold lead, and they lost that whole 10k gold lead in, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They had the Aegis. They could have just taken their time. Honestly, I think that's what they should have done. Just been patient, and they just got so greedy, so hungry to win, and they just threw the game. So we'll see. I mean, Wards can clearly are clearly able to win. We'll see if they're going to be able to win next game. Maybe change up their draft a little bit, change up the game plan. Hopefully be a little bit more patient.
Yeah. They need to be more careful with their decisions. Buying back into your whole team being dead cost the game for Ember. The full reward team. Let's see what I can get next game.
I mean, Wards showed that they can win.
Yeah.
They played well for the first half of the game, but just got so greedy. So they just got ahead of themselves. I think, yeah, honestly, it was just a throw. Greed. lobby is up, alright. And the password's the same.
Okay.
Not to mention Finest, their Earthshaker played really well. I mean, a couple misuses of echoes, but he also had some really huge echo slams. And I think a lot of how that game went was just in the supports. Despite the throw, Finest, there's Reborn, and I cannot remember the name of their Earthshaker, just played so well. And then Clinks basically had free farm the whole time.
I think there's a reason why I had Ember pre-muted. Poor Ember. It felt like he was try-harding for it after the throw. He was trying so hard to win the game.
Try to bring it back.
Recover all the...
Yeah, despite...
Might be feeling bad.
Maybe... I don't know, I just wonder what must have been going through his head when he bought back like that. Maybe if Finest had made it to their base on that push, and I guess they might have been able to, but they had fort. There was really no reason to buy back when he did.
Let's see.
Just greed, and unfortunately for them, that I think that buyback, that whole fight, how that turned out, probably cost them the game. That gold swing was just insane. That gold swing happened in...
Took so much gold.
Clinks got huge, and he itemized really well to deal with the enemy team. At least the Mjolnir just helped him so much. Because otherwise it would be kind of hard for them to deal with the PL. I mean, then again, they had a lot of AoE too, with the Fissure, Queen of Pain, even the Death Ward once he got the Eggs. But the Mjolnir just made PL feel like a non-factor. Like he never had any illusions if the Clinks was around in the fight. Alright, so it looks like we're loading into the game, and this time we'll have Wards playing the Radiant and Finest playing on Dire. We'll see if Wards are going to be able to recover from that loss, and hopefully they can. I mean, it was really sad for them. They had such a huge lead and just threw it all away in a matter of minutes.
So we'll be picking Dire will be banning first and picking the first hero. They banned the Earth Spirit. Respect ban. That's cool.
The Earth Spirit played really well. And Invoker ban, no surprise. I mean, that hero, he did get nerfed like 2 days ago, but 3 days ago.
Yeah.
But still, very strong.
It's not a huge nerf. It's just some armor, one armor base.
A little bit of attack speed and then a higher,
Yeah.
slightly higher mana cost on Deafening Blast.
Reserve time.
Maybe Finest ban Ember, but not phase 1, probably phase 2. I mean, he played well. And actually, they ban out the Wisp. I mean, that's just... I understand Wisp being a very strong hero. But if used properly, the hero is really good, especially with coordination. But it actually looks like Finest switched a player, unless he changed his name. It's like they switched out the Queen of Pain.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it looks like they switched out their Queen of Pain.
Time.
You suggest players. Or no? Is it another guy playing?
Yeah, the Queen of Pain, I think, is a different player.
Dire team.
Or the person who played Queen of Pain isn't playing in this game. And Dragon Knight, again, banned. It's interesting, Dragon Knight banned out again. Maybe that's
Yeah.
just a hero Finest played really well, and the same can be said for the IO. Just two heroes that are...
Yeah, same. I was wondering when in the first draft they went DK. I mean, I was like, maybe Finest play a good DK.
That's probably
But-
some kind of respect ban.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Let's see, they've still got...
They're taking the reserve time.
They did this last game too. They spent a lot of time thinking about what they wanted. I mean, there's Oracle, Lone Druid. Some teams really like Enchantress. Outworld Devourer is still there. Some teams also really like the Chen. Gyrocopter's still in the pool. That's a pretty safe pick. And all three of the first picks last game too. Dazzle, Witch Doctor, Shaker still available. They played pretty well with their Shaker, and I think their Witch Doctor also did really well. So they could just go back to that. But they actually go with
Visage.
Visage. I think the hero is good, but I think it's interesting to see it picked up in the first phase. I wonder if that means they're going to do a tri-lane. I mean, Visage is a very strong tri-laner, but there's a strong laner. Soul Assumption does so much damage. It'll depend on what they pick to go with it. Because there's a few ways they could play that hero, and it does, I think, fall into the mid-game push comps. I mean, familiars do a ton of damage, and Ward's actually taking the Shaker away from Finest this time. Maybe they didn't want to spend a ban on it and instead grab it for themselves. Finest took up a huge chunk of their reserve time for that pick.
Yeah, I don't think opening with Visage is good. But let's see how it works for them.
10 seconds remaining.
They,
Shaker is good pick.
yeah,
So
Shaker was
opening.
good. The Visage, it's interesting. I mean, maybe they want to try to do Drow Visage or something, but that's something you usually see picked up in Phase 2.
Yeah.
But because now, if they want Drow Visage, Drow is probably going to be banned out by Wards if it's not picked up as their next pick. And if it is, you just pick up some aggressive hero to go in on it. And Rubik also, it's strong, but it depends on what kind of spells there are to steal too. I mean, I guess you could take Soul Assumption. If you somehow get Familiars, that's huge, but it's almost impossible to steal Familiars.
Yeah.
And actually,
Slark.
Dire team bad.
Interesting first two picks from Finest. Although it
Yeah.
does play well around like the lockdown of the Shaker and the Rubik.
I will ban Ancient Operation for on the finest side because maybe they can go offline Shaker and then see the position 4 Rubik, position 5 AA.
Oh yeah, that'd
Is it-
be lots
is
of
it-
kill potential, and it's also it's good against the Slark.
Yeah,
So the AA definitely a hero that Finest needs to be thinking about, because that'd be a really strong tri-lane, and not only that, it would make team fights very, very hard for Finest. Dazzle banned out.
I like the gyro ban.
Gyro would
for
also have
finest.
been a very good tri-lane, do like Shaker Rubik, like 5 Rubik,
Yeah.
4 Shaker, lots of kill potential, just lift them into the Rocket Barrage and fissure them in.
They're banning Ad2l. Banning heals.
So probably just don't want to deal with like, and they just probably don't want to deal with the rotations. Maybe they want to get aggressive early. I mean, with Shaker and Rubik, it's definitely possible, because if Dazzle rotates and just pops a grave, if you're, it could cost you the kill. So maybe they just think about that. Don't want to deal with the weave either. I mean, Shaker and Rubik are already pretty squishy heroes. And actually, Doom and Zeus.
And the Doom.
I think Wards should go with the AA, but instantly pick up a Juggernaut. Juggernaut has kind of risen in popularity a bit lately. It's one of those heroes that just... and actually, if they run a tri-lane and fissure block someone into a Blade Fury, that's a lot of damage. Vengeful Spirit, also very strong this patch, and this gives Finest a lot of kill potential. Both teams have a ton of kill
Elder
potential.
Titan.
Elder Titan, that's interesting. I mean, natural orders...
Haven't seen Elder Titan in a long time.
Natural
Just in some
orders-
5K games, but not really. I'm surprised with Elder Titan for real.
The
It's
hero
old
is,
meta hero.
Yeah, he's basically fallen off the face of the earth. I mean, the sleep is good. I mean, I guess they could set up the Echo Slam with the sleep. The natural
Yeah.
order takes away tankiness from some of these heroes, but they're not naturally tanky heroes anyway. Besides Slark Revenge.
Yeah. You usually pick Elder Titan when they get like 3 or 2 strength hero.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just blow all the percentage HP.
Finest have a really aggressive draft. I mean, these 4 heroes have a lot of kill potential. I wonder if they're going to tri-lane this, or maybe do aggro dual lanes, but I'd much rather see the tri-lane.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Doom and Zeus being banned is also very interesting, I felt like. I mean, Doom is pretty good against Slark. Zeus also pretty good against Slark. Spam the ult, keep eyes on him, prevent him from jumping you with the Shadow Blade or something. And I've actually, in all the AD2l games I've cast, I've seen Spectre pretty much banned last every single game. And I mean, she's strong, and if the game goes late, she basically wins on her own, and you can do the bad man build.
Radiant team
I think the Amber Sphere was actually a good ban. But, yeah, there's the OD. Ember, when Elder Titan taking away all of their armor, Ember would have been very strong. He would have hit very, very hard. But they get the OD instead, and similar story. I mean, OD does pure damage, but his ult is going to hit really hard. It's going to be interesting to see how this Elder Titan gets played and like what kind of impact it really has.
seconds remaining.
We haven't seen this hero in such a long time, but
5
it is possible that it'll have a really big impact. And yeah, Finest round out. It's another. It adds more control and more damage, and it's another hero that comes on pretty early, so they can be very aggressive. I think Finest have just drafted this super aggressive lineup, and I would like to see them do a tri-lane. Visage, Slark, Venge, just get tons and tons of kills, or maybe even do like Clockwork, Visage, Venge. Could also work if they're not worried about the Slark dying in the off lane, and I don't think he should if he's against Elder Titan, but So on both
No.
these teams, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes out. I think Wards have good lanes, but Finest also have good lanes, and I think Wind Ranger should be fine mid lane against the OD. So they're going to smoke up again. Just going to start Grave Chiller's Soul Assumption. So it's like we're going to have a level 1 fight. The smoke will probably be popped by the Juggernaut. We can just spin to safety. Trying to go around so they can catch him, but Juggernaut going to be hard to kill. He wants to go in though. Fissured and blocking off the Wind Ranger, but Slark actually catches on the leech at the very end. Magic Missile, and that could be first blood, but now that the clock gets lifted away, they might not be able to. He gets zapped, and yes, does finally die, and Hogs is ready, but they won't be able to find the additional kill. But Wind Ranger and OD claiming the bounty runes, so this mid lane will be pretty even. So what do you have on Courier? Oh, a Salve. This mid, I think, should be fine for the Wind Ranger. I mean, she just wants to trade with right clicks and can wind run away from Arcane Orb harass. So I think she'll be okay in her lane. And now that things have calmed down, I'm going to introduce the team. So on Finest, Tans, who was Earthshaker last game, playing the Clockwork. KJ, who was the Abaddon on the Wind Ranger. Mars, who is a new player, I believe, on the Vengeful Spirit. Reborn, who is Witch Doctor on Visage. And I believe that's everyone. On that, nope, that's not true. Bidman playing the Slark. And now on the side of Wards, we have Noided, who is being harassed up now by the enemy supports, but should not have anything to worry about. Playing Elder Titan. And B-Donk on the Outworld. And actually, as I go bot, we have Frankie Crisp, who's playing... Frankie Crisp playing Rubik, actually finding the kill on the Clockwork, and Gorg's playing Earthshaker. So Franz, who was the Phantom Lancer, going to have a very good start. Clockwork already having died once, so this lane, very, very scary to play up against. And this has been blocked at least, but they may find it. They have a sentry, and they do find it. So, unfortunate for the Clockwork, who is at least level 2, but Juggernaut hitting level 3. See KJ getting harassed up pretty bad. Might have called that wrong. Guess Windrun's cooldown is extremely long, but soon B-Donk won't have that much mana available for his Arcane Orb, and Fissure to try to kill that Wind Ranger, but she probably got pushed onto the wrong side. Mango was brought to the Visage. Very interesting. Wonder if they are going to tri-lane. Yeah, it looks like they are. Vengeful Spirit farming up the jungle, pulling. Yeah, KJ having a very hard time, and Shaker sitting in mid trying to find an opportunity to get a kill, but she does have Windrun ready. Tans looks okay for now. The enemy supports have rotated out, so he is safe for the time being.
I feel like they should let Juggernaut 1v1 the Clover and go aggro try with Thunder Titan when he gets like low 4.
Yeah,
they need to shut down Slark early.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to be a trouble. Because then he gets Shadow Blade or Blink Dagger or Kit and start blinking on the OD, and it will be hard for him.
Looks like KJ might go down, but Windrun just able to get away, so. Yeah, this Shaker is not letting up the mid lane, and I think this is probably a decent choice, but yeah, I agree. This Juggernaut does not need any help, especially after Clock has already died once. Now actually, Finest rotating one of their supports into the mid lane, but Wind Ranger probably shouldn't go for
Because
it.
Juggernaut will get better with levels, and this won't help at all. Roy needs to move from this lane. Clockwork's taking runes. The Rubik should be there taking the rune.
Yeah.
Slark is pretty much free farming.
Yeah, he's the most CS. Juggernaut right behind him though. Although Slark is probably getting the better deal in levels, just barely. No, he's got his Venge sitting behind him, but I feel like if they're gonna have Venge up here, they need to make plays on the other Titan. So maybe bring the Visage up. Otherwise, just move the Venge and the Visage around the map and try to find a kill on like the OD, because that's a pretty aggressive. That's a really good aggressive support duo. Clock actually almost dying, but Rubik dies to the creeps. Wow, that was a really good Shackle shot at bot lane.
Shackle
might go down, but just barely misses her power shot, and Jugs will survive. But very good Shackle, unfortunately not able to find anything. But Rubik does go down. And yeah, Slark having a lane all to himself. Vengeful Spirit trying to farm up these creeps so she can find some levels, but yeah, Juggernaut farming really nicely as well. But if the Slark gets a Shadow Blade or Blink Dagger, he can just get so aggressive early. Good. Good banish, but maybe he gets sniped anyway. No, he went back to his lane, so far mid lane, Wind Ranger is a little bit behind in CS, but it shouldn't be too serious. Rubik snags a bounty rune. Yeah, Juggernaut almost level 6. Slark still has about 200 XP to go. I feel like this Venge and Rubik are both making the same mistake. I think they should both be rotating. Slark probably won't have any problems with this Elder Titan. Unless they bring an aggro try. And one of the benefits of doing the aggro try is you force the other support duo to stay, so that they can't rotate. Wind Ranger in trouble. The Fissure is right there for the setup, and she is blocked in now. Shackle might try to find that kill, but Rubik does finally rotate out. The Wind Run's ready. She's getting blocked up though. She may go down, but does actually snipe the OD. Got a little ahead of himself, and now pays the price. And Wind Ranger might just be able to walk away from this, but it's like a TP from the Rubik. He will be safe, and so Slark should be level 6 now. Juggernaut also level 6. Juggernaut, yeah, both Slark and Jugs are getting basically free lanes, and Venge trying to go in, but Slark not really in position, almost just harassing with her magic missile.
Start going for a Midas. Once again. He won Midas and Plinks. It's being super greedy, I guess. They have too much early potential to set ganks, but he decides to go for Midas.
Yeah,
I know that
it's a quick-ish Midas, but at the same time, it feels like going the Shadow Blade would have been the superior choice. Getting that fast,
yeah.
Just running around the map, killing off like the Rubik, the squishy Rubik, and like the Earthshaker even.
It feels like they should be killing more the Elder Titan. I think 0 deaths right now.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this Elder Titan has gotten way more out of his lane than he should have. Either leave the either rotate both Venge and Visage and try to find kills like the Visage just did mid. And I believe that was probably, yeah, Clock does not have his ult, does not have mana for his ult, but it's a pretty big kill.
They're just catching so much They're focusing on ganking the mid laner. Just struggling to make OD just
And yeah, this
completely
Shaker
shut
is going
down.
to die very quickly. And Slark actually found what I believe was a solo kill on Elder Titan.
Yeah.
So lanes are looking really bad for wards. I mean, their Juggernaut is free farming, so they have that at least. But the Slark is just
That's
going to
threats.
slowly pull ahead of him, thanks to the Midas. And it shouldn't be long before he actually does get the Shadow Blade anyways.
I think you should go for Blink Dagger.
Yeah. If he... Yeah, actually the Blink seems like it would be very good. I mean, the Shaker and Rubik will die pretty much instantly if he Blink jumps them. Shooting Clockwork back bot lane. OD got the regen rune, but he's almost got his treads and he's going to go for the 4-staff, but Business needs to be careful with his birds. He really doesn't want to lose them. Trying to lock this guy down. Shackle does
The
not
Beatman
latch.
trying hard and going. They're gonna kill the Beatman. No. The ult.
He's just barely able to get
Start
away.
control.
Slark might go down here. The sleep comes out and he does actually get caught. He's not able to leap away. But
That's
Willie
a
Fine
greedy.
killed very close, but he did get a little ahead of himself that time. Unfortunately, after all they invested mid, weren't able to find the kill on the Outworld. So Slark, I think the way he built, he needs to just not. He can't afford to die. He
Yeah,
wants to
he should be
snowball.
just free farming, going on jungle and farming more and more. If he gets huge.
And he went in here without vision, or probably even tried to tower dive. I was watching it, so I didn't see all of it, but good defensive banish, and now Omni Slash does a little bit of damage. No mana for spin though, but now Wind Ranger just gets chunked away. And OD activated regen clock hook misses. Just that's really unfortunate. And now Finest should probably try to back off. It looks pretty bad for them. Although Badonk might be in trouble. He gets blasted down by the Visage, tons of damage. But these familiars are going to get fed up. And now Tans goes down as well. And they lost a familiar too. So actually, good trade for rewards. Got about 800 gold for that. And let's see, does Visage have resummon available? No, he does not. So they're gonna only have the one bird for a minute. And that's bad, to only have the one bird. I think Finest should probably look to do Roche. Like, get a medallion on bench, and then just go Roshan. Get, like, build more of a lead, get it on your Slark, maybe even Wind Ranger. The gold advantage will help. And Visage Bird might be in trouble, might get farmed up again. He needs to move that bird, and does manage to drop it before it feeds, but it might still go down anyway. Should be able to safely get it to get it away though, but really can't afford to lose that bird. It's his last one for another 30 seconds. Sleep on 2, and now the Elder Titan Earth Splitter coming down the mid. They are fissured, both caught, and looking really bad for them. Reborn definitely going to go down at least, and Mars should be able to walk away to safety. Visage Bird stunning 2, but and Wind Ranger juking to sleep. Trying to nope, actually trying to shoot her power shot away, but maybe just creating space. She's hasted up and going to pick off the Elder Titan. Slark gets the last one on the tower, has 1600 gold. Omni Slash not quite ready. Slark has his ult, might try to find a kill. Yeah, and he's definitely going to kill off
I
this
tried to get a
Rubik,
Rubik.
but he might just die.
He might die here.
He's probably going to die to the Omni Slash unless he's able to get away.
I see him. Omni Slash coming.
Yeah, they had the vision thanks to the sword, and he just gets cut away. So probably not really worth it. I mean, Juggernaut got 650 gold for that almost. Is closing in on his battle free, but in the mid lane, while that's going on, it looks like OD might be in trouble. But rotations now. He's banished himself up. Soul Assumption ready. Hookshot catches him, but Echo Slam to kill off the clock, who was already pretty low when he went in, and now Wind Ranger might be in trouble. Visage Birds don't have the stun up, and Visage's gonna have to walk away, but Wind Ranger also able to get away, though.
Visage full.
Oh, actually, Visage looks like he's in trouble. The Fissure's coming up soon. 2 seconds, 1 second, and this is going to be a very dead Visage.
Fissure.
And wow,
Oh, stole birds.
He stole birds. That's
Someone you were talking about. It's so hard to steal it, man. Looks like he didn't actually cast any spells.
Perhaps
Not even to run faster with the Q.
he had that was on cooldown for 40 seconds. He hadn't cast anything for 40. I mean, not dropping a Soul Assumption, not dropping a Grave Chill, and now Rubik with the birds. That's huge for them. I mean, they can push, they can find way more kills, have even more lockdown for these enemy heroes, and now it's like the Rubik's trying to kill the Visage Birds with his own birds. What is this? What's happening? Aetherland's on Elder Titan. Really long range cat. Earth Splitter goes really far now, and Astral Spirit also pretty long cast range, so able to sleep from further away, able to hit from Earth Splitter. Earth Splitter actually does a pretty large amount of damage. I mean, if it can hit though, which is the problem. They might have the tools to make sure that it connects though. I mean, a sleep into like a fissure, they can do it, and someone's banished up here. It looks like the Shaker, defensive banish, Vengeful Spirit caught in the middle of these guys, and not quite enough damage from Soul Assumption. Good sleep. Prevents the chase. Hook out though, and is Clockwork really going to be able to make it? He has no damage, but the power shot from far away catching out the OD, but Vengeful Spirit going to die, and Clockwork may join her soon, and actually looks like Wind Ranger's in trouble as well. Triple kill for this Rubik.
Starts coming with a Shadow Blade.
Slark on the way now.
It's gonna die. No.
If he gets
He's gonna get the Shaker.
but Wind Ranger probably also going to go
Wind
down.
Ranger's
The Bird's
probably
ready.
gonna die.
Actually able to get away from the birds for the time being. Slark now running up top. That fight slightly in favor of wards. XP was only like 35 difference. So that fight was pretty even. And now I think what Finest should do is they have the Venge has 2 points in Wave of Terror and she has Medallion. Go with Visage and take Roche, and actually Rubik just got brought down for a lot of gold from the Slark. But Juggernaut finishing up a Battle Fury. So now
It feels like they are not having a good synchronization team, because Zerg was farming here when they're all fighting.
But then his team went to take a fight anyways, even though
Yeah.
he was there. And it's not like they don't really have the heroes to do that either. I mean, wards probably could with like a good Shaker OD. Like if it were Shaker OD and like Elder Titan and Rubik, they could probably fight 4v5 if they land their spells. But Finest need to be together and are a very single target team. Or at least very pickoff oriented. I think so they should get smokes and just roam. And Visage got birds again!
Birds again.
Oh my god. And this Venge is in serious trouble. Yeah, Venge is going to die. Stuns
Venge
on
is
the OD, but she does get Wave of Terror on 3. Donk stunned up. Good Shackle, but no follow-up's going to be there, and all that's going on. Juggernaut kills off the Clockwork in a 1v1. Probably used Omni Slash. Yeah, he used Omni for it. Things are starting to look really, Finest playing really messy. The Visage especially. And unfortunately not going to find the kill with that Fissure, but good attempts. And I feel like this Visage, Birds is a spell that just shouldn't ever really get stolen. And good defensive self-banish, and Slark now going to go down very quickly. And now Reborn also probably going to go down. Attempted to swap safety, but Vengeful Spirit going to lose her own life for it. And with the birds chasing him, Reborn might not even live. Yeah, and just picked off by the Elder Titan. So things just falling apart a little bit for Finest, who had a 3k gold lead and a 5k at one point, maybe, or 4k at one point, slowly going away from them. And I think the nature of their draft is they want to be ahead. Like, Slark is a hero that doesn't play that well from behind and can dominate when he's really ahead of you. But on the net worth, he's not that far. I mean, he's really far ahead of the OD, but behind the Juggernaut, who will probably outscale him anyway. That's the courier bringing him something.
Juggernaut is getting huge right now.
He's about 500 gold ahead of the Slark, and 4k or 3k ahead of the Windranger. But Slark is 4k ahead of the OD, who's also having a pretty rough game. He's close to his 4-staff though, which will help him. I cannot believe this Rubik just keeps getting birds. One of these teams should take Roche, and I mean, now that Wards have the birds, they can take Roche just about as quickly as Finest. So both teams, and I mean, Juggernaut will kill Roche very quickly too. So I think both teams could look to Roshan, get an advantage, and just try to like snowball off of that, and just push in for a win. Omni Slash and Clockwork going to die, so things just looking pretty bad for Finest right now. I mean, their Windranger's not doing bad, but she's actually very close to her Ags, so that's good. But Slark has a Midas and is not ahead of
Went from behind.
Sleep on the Windranger.
That's a good setup.
This is looking really bad. The OD good swapped.
Good swap, but
it might not be enough. It looks like they're going to lose all of these heroes anyway. Windranger has no Wind Run, slept up and just dies. This Juggernaut is doing so much damage and gonna have S and Y now. He can afford the S and Y. So finish up and Slark trying to cut the wave, but it's not gonna matter. No, Slark needs to be careful. I mean, he wants a pick off, but there's so much damage on the side of Wards. The Slark might just kill himself going in. He has no teammates there, but maybe he will find the Shaker. Trying to get the Shaker. Not able to get the leash though, and now Slark looks like he's in trouble. So that goes slam for Slark and the OD ult. Maybe a little bit of overkill, but maybe not. If he ulted and got away, it could have been.
Oh, it was okay to ult. It was he wasn't into
Shadow Dance.
Shadow Dance and
yeah, so
run
I think
away.
that was good. I mean, getting the and now
That was
Viz is
worth.
just feeding off his birds. He needs to be careful. Rubik finally does not have birds, so hopefully they don't get stolen again. Oh, okay. Whew. That time he gets the soul assumption. Hookshot in, but is there any follow-up? Slark is dead. This is probably not the fight that Finest want. Good banish to defend his teammate, but this OD just going to town. And Juggernaut as well, also doing tons of damage. The maxed out spin, and just going to lose so many heroes so quickly. The Shackle unfortunately doesn't last anything. 4-staff forward, and just Juggernaut just dominating the game.
There was not letting Juggernauts. I mean, they should have won like try aggro and Juggernauts. They keep focusing on mid, and they made errors going on mid.
I feel
and
like,
lost in team fights there.
Yeah, I feel like.
And then Slark going. I mean, Slark from behind is not going to do much. At this point with the Midas, you just have to farm. And the team has to sit back and try to do something. There's Axe now for Windrunner.
But I don't know, I mean, it's not like it's super late, it's a decently timed Axe. It's just,
Yeah.
will it be enough? This Juggernaut is massive, and Slark does get a pick off, but he's gonna get cut off by the Juggernaut. He has no Shadow Dance or Shadow Blade, and now, yeah, just gets smacked in the face by the OD. Just not worth it.
There's a Bale now on Elder type. Just amplifying the magic damage. Aether Lens and Bale.
This Elder Titan has actually been playing very well. His sleeps have been really good, setting up for lots of kills for his team. And I mean, this Rubik, Frankie Crisp played also really well, stealing the Visage Birds twice. But I feel like that it's a good play from him, but also probably a bit of a misplay from Reborn. I mean, if it was right after the cast and he didn't have mana to do anything, I would understand it a little bit, like in the midst of a team fight. But the birds always seem to be stolen from at like really weird times.
Yeah.
And now Finest have lost control of their own jungle. Juggernaut really wants to find some kills. Looks like he's gonna go Butterfly next. Let me see as the Eagle Song. I think I like that. Lots of right, like the Visage Birds are right click, the Wind Ginger is right click, and the Slark is right click. So probably not a bad choice. Shackle Shot stolen and actually latches, so Wind Ranger might be in trouble. She's lifted, but birds are there to help. Swap back defensively, and oh, Rubik going to Revenge, going to sacrifice her own life, but oh, good shackle, banish, and
Defensive
Revenge
vanish.
is able to walk away from this. So both teams just kind of glancing at each other and backing off. Rubik
Start
does have
playing it the right way. Split pushing and farming. He should be now. Sit back and farm. Keep going.
SNY
If I don't farm the jar or not.
Juggernaut is 5k gold ahead of Slark, and over 10k
Yeah.
gold, almost 10k gold ahead of Wind Ranger. I feel like they just need to, Finest need to just avoid fights. Like maybe smoke up, get pickoffs inside their own jungle, or like maybe pick off a support that comes to ward somewhere, and yeah, Juggernaut actually killing Slark, so things looking really bad, and I think Jugs can finish his Butterfly. So he will not be dying anytime soon in these fights. Finest, all of their damage is basically right-click.
Yeah.
So looking very grim, and it actually looks like wards are going for the Roshan. And it's another one of those situations where it's up to wards to throw. Like the beginning of last game went much the same way. Wards very, very far ahead, and unable.
Now they're very far ahead.
They had a similar gold lead last game though and threw it away, but it feels like wards are playing a little bit more careful this time. Not to mention the... Okay, so there's the hook. Are they going to be able to steal the Aegis? No, they're not. A valiant attempt. Good banish, and Clockwork just going to die in the pit. It was a good attempt, but now they have no clock for 40 seconds. So that T2 bot's going to die. I don't know if they'll get high ground, but Rubik actually...
There's Stalker now on Rubik.
OD sitting on top of 3k gold. Juggernaut has Butterfly on the way.
I'm gonna try higher ground now with Aegis. Should be a pretty easy tower.
They can probably get the let's see, Clock Hook will be off cooldown when he respawns. They should be careful going off the high ground here. They could still lose heroes, but